When Ellen was 13 years old, her parents divorced and she moved with her mother to Atlanta, Texas. She was using comedy to help her mother through the painful period. After the divorce, my mother was going through some really hard times, and I could see that she was really getting down, and I would start to make fun of her dancing. Then she started to laugh, and I will make fun of her laughing. And she laughed so hard, she started to cry. And then it made fun of that. So I would totally bring her from where I'd seen her start going into depression to all the way out of it, before she even got out comedy. Ellen was 19 and her girlfriend died in a car crash. The disturbing thing that we think only happens in movies is that Ellen actually drove past the accident, not knowing that that car crash was her girlfriend. She was inconsolable when she found out at the moments. She decided to write a dialogue with God, asking Him why all of that happened to her. What she had wrong so much. Before and during this time, she worked on jobs. She spent her times as a house painter, vacuum, salesperson, waitress, and even on wastage soccer. In the 80s, she started doing a stand-up comedy clubs. By 1984, she was touring the country and she even won Showtime Funniest Person in America contest. In 1994, she landed a starring role as Ellen Morgan on the ABC sitcom Ellen, and later that year, Degeneres co-hosted Emmy Awards. But then, in 1997, everything changed. Ellen decided to come out as gay on the cover of Time magazine. But shortly after she revealed she was lesbian, Ellen DeGeneres' popular sitcom was cancelled. Everything that I ever feared happened to me. I lost my show. I have been attacked like hell. I went from making a lot of money in a sitcom to making no money. When I walked out of the studio, after 5 years of working so hard, knowing I had been treated disrespectfully for no other reason that I was gay, I just went into this deep depression and moved out of LA. Went into severe depression, started seeing a therapist and had to go on antidepressant for the first time in my life. It was scary and lonely. All I know for 30 years was work, and all of a sudden I had nothing. Plus, I was mad. I didn't feel fair. I was the same person everyone had always known. No one wanted to employ her after the announcement for the next 3 years. So there she was, disappointed, depressed, sad, and angry at the world. Her life changed. Teenagers who abstained from committing suicide ruled her leathers after seeing her come out. And at that moment, she knew that she had a higher purpose in this world, apart from fame and money. Eventually, I started meditating, worked out, and writing again, and I slowly started to climb out of it. I cannot believe I came back from that point. I cannot believe where my life is now. Then Ellen's TV career started picking up again. In 2001, she got a CBS sitcom called The Ellen Show, and then she hosted the Emmy Award solo. 2 years later, she was the famously forgetful Dory in Finding Nemo. And a few months later, her famous talk show Ellen, The Ellen DeGeneres Show premiered. Most devastation would not take the talk show when they tried to sell it to them. But as we all know, someone told the idea would work and the talk show aired. The successful year was topped off with a record 12 Emmy Award nomination in 2000, and for the most ever received by a talk show in its debut season. Elon's program on the 2004 Emmy for Outstanding Talk Show. In 2004, Elaine started dating her future wife, Portia de Rossi. They got married in 2004, and 10 years of marriage later, they still make an adorable couple in the red carpet. The next few years brought more milestones, hosting To Me Again in 2005, hosting the Oscars in 2007, and becoming a cover girl smoke model in 2008. She was also awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom and broke into tears during the ceremony. Even President Obama got a little choked up as he told the gathered crowd about the generous accomplishment. It's easy to forget just how much courage was required for Elon to come out and the most public of stage almost 20 years ago. What an incredible burden that was to bear, to risk your career like that. And yet today, every day, in every day, Elon counters what too often divides us with the countless things that binds us together, inspire us to be better. One joke and one dance at a time. There is not a single person, famous or not, do not have failed at least once in their life. But the one thing that divides the successful people from the unsuccessful is the one. Now I am going to let the failure or a setback decide who I am and make me see myself as a loser and the person who is not worth anything for the rest of my life, or to make me appreciate every setback, every rock on the way, every mountain climbed, and make me a better person along the way. Don't quit when you are feeling like it, just want to give up. Don't quit when you think you are not good enough. Don't quit when the luck is not to your side right now. Don't quit when something not fair is happening to you. Don't quit until you see yourself moving on the right direction. You just cannot beat the person who won't give up. When you take risk, you learn that there will be times when you success and there will be times when you fail, and both are equally important. Winners never quit and quitters never win. So what's your story? Thanks for your watch.